Good evening, folks. Pastor Josh here. We're going to continue on in our devotion time. We're going to do some devotions tonight. We're going to be talking out of the book of 1 John. Now, if you have a Bible handy, go ahead and open that up to 1 John chapter 4. And we're going to start in verse 16 and follow down. So I'm going to read that for you. And it says, God is love. Whoever lives in love lives in God, and God in him. In this way, God's love is perfected in us, so that we may have boldness on the day of judgment, because as he is, so are we in the world. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. Whosoever fears is not perfected in love. Now, talking about God's love and God's perfect love, and it is and what is love? What is love really about? What is I had a conversation with somebody who told me one time that love was the only thing that showed love was an intimate relationship or a sexual relationship. And I said, no, that's not what love is. That's part of it in a marriage relationship. That's part of it. But love is so vast, so large, that love is shown in many different ways. A perfect love, of course, only God can give, is shown only through His Word, shown through the what Jesus did on the cross for us. That kind of love. It says here, God is love, and whosoever lives in love lives in God. Now, God, we got to think about God's love and what God and God's attributes, because we need to really think about that. If you think about God's attributes and what God is doing in our life, and what God is doing in your life right now, you got to think about what's God's core attribute. What is His attribute that is core? What is it? And it's well, it says right there, God is love. So is that His core attribute? There are other things too that show us and help us to understand what God's core attribute is, because it's not just this statement that says God is love, but it's also other statements like how Jesus, in the book of Revelation, it says that He chose to be our sacrifice prior to creation. That was love. And we see things like they will know you're my disciples by your love for one another. Okay, God's whole teaching on love is so centered around love. All of His teaching is centered around love. Jesus taught in Jesus' teaching, although He taught a lot of different issues, especially in the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew 5, 6, and 7. But if you boil all of His teachings down to the main theme, and it's love. It's love. We have to have the love of God, especially in the epistles. There's a lot about love in the epistles and how God desires for us to love one another and love Him, and how He loves us. There's a lot about love, and if you think about what God is doing in our life and in your life, what God is doing in there, and just reflect on your last, just say Christmas, just this past Christmas. Just reflect on Christmas and think about what God did to show love for you. You know, think about that. Just reflect on Christmas and think about what God did to show love for you. Now, it says God is love. Whosoever lives in love lives in God. So if we are putting forth love, we are showing the key attribute of God. That's basically what that is saying. love is so important. Even if we, it's easy to love people that are lovable, isn't it? That it's easy to love those people who are lovable and who desire love. But it's something else when we have to show love to people or to someone who is not so lovable, who is difficult to love. But yet we're called to that. We're called to that right here. God says that He is love, and whoever lives in love lives in God, and God in him. So if we are doing what God would want us to do, if we are living a life of godliness in God, then we would understand that God would want us to show love, even to those who are not so lovable. The person that we work with that just rubs us the wrong way. Maybe it's our boss, maybe it's a workmate, maybe it's a family member that rubs us the wrong way. But if you think about how we're to show love to those people, whoever they are, God said we are to show love, and that's what brings love. Love is what brings people to Christ, not the other way around, where judgmental condemnation things do not bring people to Christ. A loving, not a rebuke, but a loving concern for someone and for someone's eternity will bring them to Christ more than telling someone they're going to hell, or telling someone that they are what's the word I want to say, that they are a sinner, or they are a heathen, or something like that. Okay, loving them to the foot of the cross, loving them to the place that they would want to model and have a life with in Christ, just like you have, being a example of love to them. Now, it says in here that in this way God's love is perfected in us. So if we are showing love and being that love and being that that person of love for people, God's love is perfected in us. Does that mean we are perfect? I mean, we are perfect in our... No, that's not talking about we're perfect. We're not perfect. We are still in a sinful, fallen world. We still live in a sin-racked body. We're not perfect yet. We've not arrived until Jesus says, "Come home." But God would desire for us to be perfected in love, or try to do what God would want us to do in loving other people, in loving His creation, in loving our brothers and our sisters. Now, another thing that pushes people away from the cross is when believers in a group fight amongst themselves. They don't get along. One of the things that I really was struck by in the church that I attend now, and I hadn't experienced this to this degree until I started going to this church, but the members of my church, pastor down to the youngest member, they love spending time together. I've never experienced that before. We've had in the church we were in where we would spend time together on Sunday morning. We would fellowship. But anytime outside of that realm of Sunday morning, Wednesday night, Sunday night, we never got together, never saw each other, never communicated, during the week. But the church I attend now, they love being together. They love spending time together outside of the four walls of the building. And they get together and they'll have a game night at someone's house, or they'll get together and they'll have just the other night there was a post on there: "Does anybody want to come over and have pumpkin pie?" I had a hankering for pumpkin pie and made a bunch of it. Who wants to come share it? Stuff like this goes on, and I'd never experienced that before. in a church setting until I started going to this church. And what a wonderful way to draw people to Christ. One of the things that draws people away is the bickering, the fighting, the not getting along. Yes, you know, you're going to have that in a church. You're going to have that in relationships, even in the church. But when you do not take it between two people, and you do it outside somewhere else, or you do it somewhere else apart from the sanctuary or apart from the church building, where people are, you know, visitors are coming in, that's going to cause people to say, well, I don't want to go there. I mean, they're Christians, but they don't act like it, you know. So you have to really, you have to show love to one another, even though you don't have to agree with everything. You don't have to agree with everything that's being said or done, but you have to show love to one another. You have to look past people's faults. That's why Jesus came. You know, we were at fault. We had fault, big time. You know, we had big time fault. And you know, the whole why Jesus came in the first place, he looked beyond those faults. He looked beyond the faults of the people, of the creation, and loved them anyway. He came and died on the cross for us. As believers, we're to do the same thing. You know, isn't it? Aren't we supposed to look beyond the faults of our brothers and sisters and say, I love you anyway. I may not agree with you, but I love you anyway, and I'm going to show you that. Show that love. That's what God would want us to do. That's what God would want us to do. That's how your love is perfected. Okay. It says in verse 16, it says, there is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. If you have perfect love through Jesus Christ, there's nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. No fear of rejection, no fear of anything. You have the perfect love of Christ. So we need to understand that God desires for us to love one another. Love Him, love one another, and show that love to our fellow man outside of the realm of our Christian family, of our church family, of our, you know, show that love out. Do what God would want you to do. That's my encouragement and my challenge for you tonight. Do what God wants you to do. Show love. Find a way to show love to somebody other than church family. It's easy to love our church family. It's easy to love the lovely people. Find some way to show love to someone who rubs you the wrong way. That's my challenge. Find some way to show love to somebody who you know has a problem with you. You know has an issue and makes it difficult for you. Find a way to show love. Find a way to show God's love. And pray. Spend time with God praying for an opportunity. Not only for an opportunity, but for a way that is effective to show the love of God to that person or whoever God would direct you to. That's my challenge. That's my challenge. And you know what? This is a family devotional page. And I know there's a lot of people on there. There's like 145 members. And I know a lot of you see this. And I want you to do something. I want you to do something for me, okay? I want you to comment under this video. I want you to tell me, and you know, very concise, how that turned out for you. Was it good? Was it bad? Was it successful? Was it something you need to work on? You know, comment down below. I want to know. I really want to know. If you are watching this and you are watching it to the end of the video, this is what my challenge for you. I want you to show love to somebody who is not so lovable. Okay? Pray and ask God to help you with it, help you guide you to the right person. Then I want you to follow through with what God told you to do, and then I want you to comment below this video and tell me how it went. I want to get you involved. I want to get you involved in this, and I want you to tell me how it went. And you know, I'll pray. If you say didn't go well, pray for me, I'll do that. If you tell me, hey, it went fantastic, great, I'll praise with you. I will worship God with you that it went well. But comment and tell me. Comment and tell me about it, because I want to know. I want to know. last few videos, there were 60 people that saw the video. 60, 70 people saw the video. I want to know if there's that many people watching. I'm challenging those people that are watching to do this, and then comment below in the comments. And I want you to let me know, and I will pray for you, pray with you. I will rejoice with you. I will whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. I will rejoice. I'll pray. I'll do whatever. So, but I want you to get involved, and I want you to do this. This new year is going to be a year of showing God's love, showing God's peace and joy to the people that need to see it. So until tomorrow, God bless. Don't forget, do not forget to comment below this video. My challenge, find somebody that is unlovable, show them love, tell me how it went in the comments below. Till next time, God bless.